Sometimes, the loudest thing you can say to a woman is nothing at all. Because when you go silent, she doesn't just hear it, she feels it. Most men think they need to keep chasing, explaining, and proving themselves to keep a woman interested. They think if they don't text her first, she'll forget them. But here's the truth. When you stop contacting a woman, you shift the entire dynamic. You remove her comfort zone. You take away the constant flow of attention she's used to. And that absence, it speaks louder than anything you could say. This isn't about playing petty games or punishing her. It's about creating space to see her true colors. Because when you're not there feeding her validation, her behavior will reveal everything. Today, I'm breaking down 8 things women do when you stop contacting them, and what each one really means about how she feels. 1. She tests your silence. The very first reaction most women will have when you go silent is to test you. This is her way of finding out whether your silence is real strength or just a bluff. Now, these tests aren't always obvious. In fact, they're often subtle and calculated. She might suddenly like an old post of yours out of nowhere, watch all your Instagram stories seconds after you post them, or post something vague on her own profile that seems like it could be aimed at you. Sometimes it's a random "hey" at midnight, or a casual question like, "Do you still have my hoodie?" Something that sounds harmless but is really bait. The purpose of this test is simple. Will you break? Will you abandon your silence just because she dangles a little bit of attention your way? Most men fail here because they've been craving a sign she's thinking about them. They overread the situation, take the bait, and reply instantly. They think, finally, she's reaching out, not realizing that by doing so, they just gave her all the confirmation she needed, that she still has control. When you fail this test, the dynamic snaps back to how it was before. She knows you're still emotionally invested, and that gives her the power to keep you in her orbit without committing. But when you pass the test, by not reacting to vague posts, by not replying instantly to low-effort texts, by holding your ground, something shifts. She starts to wonder why you didn't bite. That curiosity turns into emotional engagement. She starts asking herself questions she never asked before. Did he move on? Is he seeing someone else? Has he stopped caring? The more she wonders, the more she thinks about you. And the more she thinks about you, the more your silence works in your favor. Remember, your goal here isn't to punish her or win the game, it's to see her real investment. A woman who truly values you will eventually drop the tests and reach out for real. Until then, hold the line. 2. She doubts her control. When you stop contacting her, you remove something most women take for granted, the certainty that you'll always be there. Whether she realizes it or not, she's probably been operating with an unspoken belief that if she pulls away, you'll chase. If she gets cold, you'll try harder. If she disappears, you'll come looking. This pattern gives her a sense of control, not in a malicious way necessarily, but in the way people feel secure when they know how someone will react. Your silence shatters that. At first, she might shrug it off. She might think, he'll reach out eventually. But as the days pass and nothing comes from you, something shifts in her mind. Doubt starts creeping in. Did I lose him? Has he moved on? Is he talking to another woman? These questions aren't just about missing you. They're about losing control over the emotional narrative. This is where the real power of silence shows. See, when she feels in control, she can act however she wants without fear of consequences. But when that control is gone, she is forced to reassess her behavior. She might start comparing you to other men in her life and realizing none of them measure up. She might replay moments where she pushed you away and wonder if she made a mistake. Here's the key. If you rush back in to reassure her, you undo all of this. You give her control back. But if you let her sit in that uncertainty, she'll start to see you as a man she can't read, can't predict, and can't easily sway. And that mystery is magnetic. The man she can't control becomes the man she starts to chase. 3. She replays the past. Silence doesn't just create space in the present, it pulls the past back into focus. When you're constantly in contact, her brain has no reason to revisit old memories. But when you vanish from her daily life, she starts filling that gap with moments you've shared before. She remembers the way you made her laugh, the way you looked at her, the little routines you had. Even the arguments and bad moments get replayed, not because she enjoys them, but because she's trying to figure out what happened. And here's the psychology behind it. The brain hates unfinished stories. If she feels like your connection ended without a clear conclusion, she'll keep revisiting it in her head, trying to make sense of it. At first, she might focus on your flaws or moments that annoyed her as a way to justify why she's not reaching out. But over time, the positive memories start to outweigh the negatives. She starts to miss the version of herself she was when she was with you. She starts to wonder if she made the wrong call in letting you go. This is where patience pays off. If you break the silence too soon, you interrupt this process and give her a way out of her own reflection. But if you stay quiet, you give those memories room to grow in her mind, and that can lead to regret strong enough to make her take action. 4. She starts watching you. Before she reaches out, she'll often become a silent observer in your life. She might watch every story you post within seconds, scroll through your old pictures, or even keep tabs through mutual friends. Some women will go as far as using fake accounts to check your profile if they don't want you to know they're watching. Why? Because curiosity and insecurity are powerful motivators. Your silence forces her to wonder what you're up to, and she wants to see if you're as unaffected as you seem. She's looking for proof that you're hurting, or proof that you've moved on. Either way, she needs answers without having to directly ask. The trap here is posting for her attention. If you start putting up obvious bait, emotional quotes, overly staged photos, or things meant to make her jealous, you give away your position. She'll know you're trying to get a reaction, and that kills the mystery. Instead, you want to live your life normally without making it about her. If she sees you thriving without putting on a show, that's what really gets under her skin. A man who can detach and still be at peace is a man she can't forget easily. 5. She reaches out indirectly. When her curiosity and doubt build to a certain point, but her pride is still standing in the way, she'll send a low-effort, indirect message. This could be something like, "Hey," at midnight, replying to a story from days ago, or asking about something random from months back. She's not admitting she misses you. She's just testing the waters to see if you'll make it easy for her to come back. The mistake most men make here is treating this as a full reconciliation. They reply instantly, start long conversations, and act like nothing happened. And in doing so, they give her the validation she wanted without making her put in any real effort. A strong man doesn't do that. He either ignores the breadcrumb entirely or responds in a way that's polite but detached. If she truly wants back in, she'll escalate her effort. She'll drop the games and communicate directly. By holding your ground here, you force her to either step up or step away. And either way, you get clarity. 6. She gets emotional. If the silence drags on and she still can't get you to break, the emotional mask starts to crack. This can go two ways. She might start posting sad, reflective content, quotes about loss, songs about heartbreak, or throwback pictures of you two. Or she might swing the other way and post herself out partying, surrounded by other men, acting like she's having the time of her life. Both are signs that your absence is getting to her. If she truly didn't care, she'd stay neutral. Emotional displays, whether they look like sadness or forced happiness, mean you've disrupted her emotional balance. Here's where a lot of guys slip up. They see her sadness as a sign to comfort her, or her partying as a sign they need to win her back. But both are traps. You breaking your silence now only rewards her emotional reaction. Your best move is to stay steady. Let her ride out those emotions on her own. The woman who is truly invested will eventually come forward without needing you to chase. 7. She makes a bold move. When all else fails, the tests, the watching, the indirect messages, the emotional outbursts, that's when a woman who still cares will drop the games and make a real move. This might be a long, heartfelt text, an unexpected phone call, or even showing up in person. She's no longer protecting her pride. She's prioritizing getting you back. But here's where you have to be careful. Just because she's making a bold move doesn't mean her intentions are pure. You need to look at why she's coming back. Is it because she truly values you now? Or because her other options didn't work out? A bold move without accountability is just a setup for the same cycle to repeat. If she can acknowledge where things went wrong, take responsibility, and show consistent change, then it might be worth considering. If not, you keep moving forward. 8. She either steps up or walks away, and you win. Either way, at the end of this process, the truth becomes clear. She'll either step up, drop her pride, and meet your standards, or she'll fade away completely. And either outcome is a win for you. If she steps up, you know her feelings are real and that she's willing to put in effort. If she walks away, you know she was never as invested as you thought. Silence filters out the pretenders. This is why the man who can hold his silence is dangerous, because he's not desperate for any specific outcome. He's fine with whatever truth comes to light. And that self-control, that's what earns respect from women and from yourself. When you stop contacting a woman, you don't lose her. You find out if she was ever truly yours. Because silence doesn't chase, it exposes. It shows you if she's willing to step up, or if she was only there for the attention. Hold your ground, protect your energy, and remember, the right woman won't need to be chased. She'll recognize your worth in your absence. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to Psychology Insight, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And in the comments below, tell me, have you ever gone silent and seen her true colors? I'd love to read your stories.